I should not be recording this. I'm having battery problems. I need to take a nap because it's 9:12. It's an important day, and I want to finish my pitch to SOS. However, crucial new, hot off the gut insight into the biological implications of electromagnetism. Thinking through Tesla, I did a really good. I'm having so much trouble fasting is to me evidence that I'm suffering from gross malnutrition, which I am, poisoned by the food bank, shelf-stable, preservative-laden. My body, morbidly obese as I was, 333 pounds when I turned 50, I'd been on whole foods, organic, species appropriate as could be, paleo, nutrition for decades. So my first fasting is until we got to a certain point, there was good substrate. It's not so much the degree of obesity, of overweightness. It's the quality of the substrate of the nutrition that caused the weight on the body. Now, I'm resolving in a great way. I'm in a really good state here. I'm going through my third £70 plus. I think I put on 70 pounds. Well, but it doesn't feel like it. I mean, I blew up. No question asked. When I was completely destitute and I had no humans who would buy me a meal and have a conversation with me, despite asking very nearly every day for years, till I burnt out because of the poor nutrition. My body, the current food chain is not, it's more chemical based than organic based, more man-made chemicals, okay? I mean, bullshit chemicals are natural. Yes, I know. We're talking about the toxicity of new chemicals introduced into our food supply chain. I, with all of my world-evolving physiological interoceptive intelligence, did not feel this weight coming back on. And feel it. And, I only go to outdoor state park without mirror bathrooms. I've been completely dehumanized. So I'm not even looking at myself apart from the face. How big the body got. I don't think if I was on I don't have the kind of privilege to be on having, scales to track my weight. It's close. I wear the same outfit for 3, 4, 6 months at a time. Who could know? Didn't feel it. And then I just said to myself, I don't know that I gained that much weight. I gained volumetrically about half of it back. And the quality of the substrate. But when I said to myself volumetrically, blew up. But I didn't feel. I lost mobility. The lymphedema due to the gluten and all of its, there's some complexity there. I don't have celiac. I don't have trouble digesting gluten. But gluten puts me in pain and it creates fear. The joints are inflamed. Gluten is, I'm talking about the protein. I'm talking about the fact that it somehow either so enmeshed with so much sugar all the time, or lower enzymes or blah, blah, blah. That is a protein molecule. And that protein molecule is somehow very quickly not being handled by the stomach and getting to the upper intestine, and it's tearing the enteric lining. And when that does it, and it comes along with all these preservatives and man-made chemicals in the food supply, those things go into your bloodstream. That's how come, the main ways that I feel the gluten, I don't see the accumulation and the stockpiling, but I feel it in the joints in my ankles and in the fear. But back to the volumetrically thing, this is E equals mc squared in physiological bioelectromagnetic action. I didn't gain the weight, I just got bigger. What is that? That's the Einstein's theory right at the cusp of the speed of light. When something gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I am demonstrating E equals mc squared. I'm a 55-year-old philosopher demonstrating it in my body. How to use it and how to not use it. And I believe I'm saying that for stuff, squared is enough. With consciousness, you got a qubit. I could pivot, explain bioelectromagnetism. I just take E equals mc squared. Just rearrange it, pivot it slightly. It's capital EM. And ultimately, we'll put the bio dash in front of it. Equals C, capital C, not the speed of light, lowercase c. Which is lowercase c, speed of light is the Latin term for fast. It's really imprecise. I mean, you get a lot of power when you start exponentializing anything. I'm telling you, the speed of consciousness is going to more exponentialize the cubed. Speed of light is not the speed limit of the universe. It's the speed limit of the tools that we've so far used and relied on so that we don't even see them as tools. Microscopes and telescopes, but they're all based on light. Life does not operate at the speed of light. Physiologically, we operate in the zone of sound, 20 to 20,000 hertz, and consciousness, which works through the etheric medium that guides morphic fields. Morphic resonance is the process of consciousness, as Rupert Sheldrake has taught me. Demonstrating E equals mc squared with my body. This thing where at the speed of light, the spacecraft can't go much faster. There's no way the energy can make my brain go any faster. And everyone wants me to slow down, and I rewind these things, and I'm just going at a nice speed. This goes back to, I've always had this problem. The TV series Hannibal. So I didn't know it was broadcast. It was an excellent aesthetic, creative achievement. First season, the whole point was Hannibal, the FBI agent, Will Graham, really well played by Hugh Dancy. Oh, I could see why Claire Danes was all on that. He's a skilled, intelligent actor. Hugh Dancy, and there's the scene, Hannibal's been psychologically torturing him the whole time, and we don't quite ever know is it the cannibalism, or is he, medicating, drugging. There's a place where Will, and part of what Hannibal is trying to convince Will that he's perfectly sane, even though Hannibal's, is he draws a clock. This is part of, in his psychological file, he's drawn a clock. And then, like, right at the end, right before they imprison Will Graham, Hannibal reveals that the clock is all crazy distorted. It's about time, right? My sense of time was molded over. Toxic mold exposure in an apartment in Bellevue. I can't operate in the socialized, agreed upon we're socialized into mind states and into the paradigms that we built, the mental mind maps of time and space. I can't gauge space for the life of me. Beyond about 3 feet, then it's solar system. I'm inappropriately mentally attuned to space. All right, give me, I can estimate about 3 feet, and give me the biofield 6 feet. Give me really about 6 feet. I couldn't tell you the difference between 10 feet away from me and 25 feet away from me, to be perfectly honest. It's like really quickly is this is my physical location, and then we're in the solar system. Same's happening with time now, apparently, and it's all related to, I really did burst of insight that was completely non-language driven. I do have hyperlexia, and I'm not visual in here at all, unlike Temple Grandin's assertion. And now she's visuospatial. No. I don't think anyone's even, this brain operates very abstractly, very conceptually, and again, the concentricness is really the whole team, and I just coming back to non-linear folks, the octopus people. How does non-linear give you linear? I could tell you, but concentric thinking as electromagnetic waves work. I should just be getting check after check, well, Venmo after Venmo, patrons after patrons, because we need to take this brain and start to actually run the global thought experiments that will save our species from self-extincting in approximately 30 years. SOS squared. I've been doing SOS ZZ and it's SOS cubed. Win-win-win, strategic collaboration, me, you, and autism, and then me, you, and chronic disease, and then me, you, and the global majority, and then me and Earthlings racing Elon to 1 trillion. Him and his batteries. So how I got to this insight was battery. One of the things, somebody has to pay me. I'm not doing this by myself. I don't know anything about electromagnetism and stuff. Well, I've got these crazy, incredible, intuitive, biological electromagnetism insights. And I don't know the first thing about actual, what Tesla did. How Tesla thought and theorized. I know a lot of it. It's all perfectly logical sense to me. So, lost the flow of thought right there. I wish I could pause it and get me on a stage. I'll have an assistant be like, "Here's what you just said." So, the insight that brought me into the fact that I'm biologically demonstrating the time-space distortion close to the speed of light that Einstein theorized and predicted. We can't test. Nobody's tested. Everyone agrees that this is occurring, but nobody's tested it out. I've philosophically done some provable experimentations. I'm putting no weight back on for y'all. Y'all missed recording this. But we can experimentally induce my autism. Quite rarely, but it's true. Put me in an experiment, get all the right stuff together, and smoke and certain revs of sound now will make me autistic AF. And we could put on all of the skin galvanizing and all of the MEGs, and we can take me out in the world or keep me in a lab and experimentally induce my autism, and then see how my raging, my redheaded She-Hulk trademark. You got to express this stuff. If you are in a situation where your body is telling you, your physiological, your autonomic nervous system is telling you, you are in danger of dying, you must listen to it. We live in a civilization where we're constantly, it's so much cognitive dissonance. No, you're not dying. Yes, I am dying. Right on the verge of dying. People get so angry at me for being honest. So back to, and it's a jump, and it just like how the flow of my thought, because it's like, wow, Senzi, this is some pretty incredible logistical evolutionary logic plus love intertwined jumps. I'm going for them in a two, theoretically, atom level out into the 888 uraniuming. And it's funny, Glyke had said, I mentioned this in the previous one, I'm not going to get this uploaded. I'm going to get the battery. It should be uploaded after. Create this afternoon, evening's pitch to SOS. Cubed. Where was I at when I realized my body is demonstrating volumetrically that I haven't put on weight, but I've gained an enormous amount, enormous extra size, dimensionality, biggerness. I'm demonstrating something that no one in the stuff physics can demonstrate with wetware what no experimental physicist can test out currently with materials or anything that I know of. I mean, I'm not really following physics. I know I could get me safe and get me well and get a physicist on staff. I'll consult. What was that insight? Shit, it's right back there. The trouble with short-term memory, when I clicked those two things together, I was done. The burst of salience, the burst of shit, girl. It's a leap of insight. What was I thinking about when I realized the volumetrically? I'm always saying, don't test me because I will pass every test you give me. Well, my ability to think, many people may dispute the output of my thinking, but I'll be able to defend it as logical, rational, worth hours of consideration. And that's all I want. Some of the again, Elon, notwithstanding, Tesla was entirely wrong about Martians. But the interesting thing is his biographer, and this was in the early 80s. The book that I read, we'll get it. They hadn't even discovered the cosmic background radiation. And they say it proves the Big Bang. I don't think so. Y'all are letting these people get away with murderous illogicity. elasticity. Really working on those today. Going to Jordan or a Pippen, I'm not stopping. It's that I'm worried. Is that I got this burst of salience of what the philosophical premise was that made me realize that, oh, batteries. It was really simple. Then here going, I don't know how I don't really know how to define a battery. Don't know what, like, the Duracell, or any of the batteries in these new devices. I don't know how to define what a battery is, but I know how to define a biological battery. Fatty acids. That's what put me over to, why am I so big? Why am I having so much trouble fasting? I mean, well, clearly I'm having less trouble fasting than you would think. But the face and the body do not match right now. It's coming in. It's coming in. Open up the shirts from the elbow up. We've got some largeness still. Thickness. It's lymph. More than fat. And it's lymph that had to be generated very quickly on the fly from very poor source materials to isolate off all of these toxins that my body can only process. But soy protein isolate in a can of tuna. Nobody bought that. Send it to the garbage compactor homeless people. Wait, so society, we're not homeless because of ourselves. You are homeless because society has betrayed you. What does every single person out there say? Well, I'll never be homeless because I have enough friends. So you've been neglected by society, tragically. And then we expect you to figure out how to surmount being alone in the world, essentially. Or having burnt out, the few people who remain. You don't have a large enough support group, and you've burnt out the people who truly have. They do a lot. Like, this is the part that really devastated me here in July. We're on a cusp of time and time again, and I found, well, my Renaissance matron and patron found me. My brain not necessarily did that, but my brain refused to do anything that would keep that from happening. That, I know, is a conscious decision that I made again and again and again. To not redirect myself out of being the apex intellect of bioelectromagnetism, which is, as far as I can tell, and I'm only looking at bioelectromagnetism, I'm only looking at consciousness and why we're 99% genetically identical to chimpanzees and bonobos, but why we're 100% more human. I'm going to answer these questions. Answer the questions again, back to Einstein being wrong with the ether. We're doing a Scottie Pippen of thinking. Elephant in the universe, Gert Schilling. Current science is saying everything in the universe that we currently know about, all of it, baryonic matter, accounts for like 4.95% of what's needed. And I believe mass, but don't quote me on that. But for gravity and for things to be as far away, and for, time scales of big bangs and cosmic background radiation, Tesla found the cosmic background radiation. We'll stick it in the early 1900s. It might have even been before. What he accomplished before 1900, and then nobody in 2024 it's not in our scientific or technical zeitgeist. The experts may be using it, but I don't even think they know about it. So everything is about 5%. And then what they currently say is they give about 30%, yeah, dark matter and 67 dark energy. What the hell is dark matter and dark energy? Well, it's not baryonic. It's not light-based. Back to morphic resonance. Now, I understand you cannot follow me in that logic. If you can, you gotta holler. Like right now. Redheaded She-Hulk. At Gmail. You can follow me between needing the ether to uncover dark matter and dark energy, which, matter and energy are the same thing. They're just in different states. Like ice and vapor to water. Why I had to get so big, even though I did not overeat. And I couldn't. I'm going to the food bank. That's 3 days a week. Oh God, I just got into a zone of like 3 weeks in or so. I'm just feeling like because I had really done without food for quite some time. Crap, non-organic. These, and I don't mean like organic like certified. I mean like organic like life. That the bulk of the food that we're eating from these packages is substantially non-organic. It's not life. It's chemicals. And all life eats life, not chemicals. Now, life is reduced to chemicals in the digestive. Don't miss my point. Don't go into speciality silos here. Life eats life. But now the richest humans, the most capable, the most abundant humans on the planet, and adults in the U.S. of hypocrisy, we are filling our bodies with not enough life to stay alive. So I blew up volumetrically. My battery charged. But the thing is because this battery, the cell phone battery, I don't have any place to plug it into 60 hertz Nikola Tesla AC electricity. I'm not processing enough energy through my body mind to make the weight go. And some of this is structural, since I can't get out the position of being in my driver's seat. I don't have a dance to go to. I'm going to have to create my own dance. So I need to do it here so I can be done. I almost did it last night at the open mic. We are 3 days. The 5-year anniversary of #Chappelle Challenge. So you got a motherfucker without question. I'm the Scottie Pippen of life-centric thinking. So the original consulting philosopher. Bio-electromagnetism. I say, we're just, is it bio-electromagnetism? Again, bio-electromagnetism. Because it's the philosophical hypothesis of. I put the bio- because it is the philosophical hypothesis. I have done experiments with valid assistive tools called tuning forks. Piezoelectricity. So this is back to what I'm saying. I don't know an ampere from a watt or a volt. I mean, I really don't. So how the hell I just realized that my biology is demonstrating that distortion of the spacecraft when you approach the speed of light. You can't process the energy anymore, and this is help because I can't sleep. I'm being vigilanted. Guantanamo Grove. No place to be. And these people who think they're helping me, they're just incapacitated by their own physiological cubicle captivity in the box of plantation capitalism thinking. Okay. That. Who is God, the balls or the breasts, to be a practicing scientist, to take me up on what I just discovered and do some research on it? This is part of it. This is part of it. Freeing up the lack of movement that my face had because of morbid obesity from childhood. And I'm practicing. It's all here. Nobody has yet ever, nobody's talked to me. Nobody's ever sat down with me and discussed one of my Socratic improvs with me. What a fucking tragedy. Where are y'all's minds at? Well, I don't know how to. I can't slow down. And then so you're going so slow that you are in charge of the conversation, and they're just miserable for me. It's miserable for me to talk to humans. You go so slow and you're all these faulty paradigms. I need a Jordan. Stat. I need a Watson. In both the Sherlock and the Francis Crick. That's Robert Sapolsky of Stanford. And I'm telling you, MacArthur genius that he is. When the neuroscientists met the quantum physiology philosopher, everything. It's going to get very, very spooky action in embodied glory, as is Scottie Pippen. All right. Harmony. We're going to get this precisely perfect, and then YouTube's going to screw with me.